learned yesterday, according to Allah, it's better to stay home a whole day, laying in bed, doing nothing, not davening, nothing, as long as you're going to fast. Okay, next. Okay, Shachris, Musaf, Mincha, Ne'ilah. We have all the various things. By the way, when the Koyanim wash for Duchanan, so then you wash the whole hand until the wrist. Those places where the custom is the Levium wash their hands before they wash the Koyanim, so the custom is then also the Levium also wash. That's our custom, yeah. That the Levium wash their hands first, so again you wash it all the way to the wrist. If somebody's eating, let's say they're not well or kids, they're eating bread or challah, whatever. So it's interesting. Shmuel says like this: even though Yom Kippur is a Yom Tif, but there's no Kiddush and there's no Lechem Mishnah. Somebody would think, okay, listen, there's no Kiddush because you're fasting, but if you have to eat, it's a Yom Tif. Why aren't you making Kiddush? So the Kiddush over a cup of wine that we learned when we were learning Hilchos Shabbos is only rabbinic nature. Biblically, it's verbal Kiddush. Chachamim came along and said you have to do it over a cup of wine. So on Yom Kippur, even if it's Shabbos Yom Kippur, not this year like last year, even if Shabbos is Yom Kippur falls on Shabbos, there's no obligation to do Kiddush. Therefore, there's also no obligation to have the Lechem Mishnah, the two challahs. But if somebody is eating on Yom Kippur, for whatever reason is they're going to be eating bread, so they have to wash their hands all the way to the wrist. And when they bench, they have to say Yalav Yavi in the benching. Even though in the benching, you're not going to find Yom Kippur or Mazeh, but you have to put it in because you have to bench and you have to do Yalav Yavi. In fact, people, let's say mothers and fathers, have to prepare food for the kids. The kids are eating, so they have to wash the fruit or whatever it is. So logically, on Yom Kippur, you would be allowed to wash the fruit or the food, whatever needs to be washed, because it's not a pleasurable washing. It's washing for cleanliness. So then you would be allowed to. But like we discussed, when you wash your hands for Negelwasser in the morning, you only wash until the end of the fingers. When you go to the bathroom, you wash your hands, it's only to the end of the fingers. You don't wash the whole hand. Even your face, you can't even wash your face with water. When your hands are still a little dampish and moist, so then you can wipe your eyes a little bit to get out, it's called the encrustment. But
is it similar to Tisha B'Av?
it's not only similar to Tisha B'Av, it's stricter than Tisha B'Av. All these dinim apply on Tisha B'Av too, but Tisha B'Av is rabbinic. This is all Yom Kippur is biblical. Because even though the only thing the Torah says, we mentioned this yesterday, I think, the only thing the Torah says you're not allowed to do openly is eat and drink. But the Torah says, Kichol nefesh asholei se'una be'etzem, you have to afflict yourself. And these 5 things, the Chachamim defined as considered afflicting. No leather shoes, because that's called comfortable. Washing your face is pleasurable. All these things, the Chacham said, you have to afflict yourself. What?
Kala married within 30 days?
If a girl got married within 30 days, she's allowed to wash her face in Yom Kippur, I said, because she's still got to look good to the husband. I guess it means after 30 days it doesn't matter anymore. But for the first 30 days, she still has to look good as a new bride to her new husband. Okay, next. Now, Mitzvah Yom Kippur. Okay, let's speak about the end of Nila. Okay, the end of Nila, you have Davinu Malkeh, the Shema Yisrael, Baruch Shem Hashem Elokim, and then the Poli Yizmach, and the blow shofar. Now, technically, you're allowed to blow shofar before the fast is over. The reason why most shuls don't, because the second they blow the shofar, everybody's out of shul, they're desecrating Yom Tov already. It could still be Yom Tov. So therefore, most places blow the shofar mamish when it's, at least it's the ending of Yom Tov that people are not desecrating. What?
Back to your last point. Bidet.
What?
Bidet. No. Baby wipes.
No.
Baby wipes.
What's the question? I'm sorry.
The question was bidet or baby wipes if a kid is.
No, adult.
Are you talking about adults? No. Unless if they have a dirt spot, that's the only way they can clean it. So
no,
then,
after going to the bathroom.
I'm saying, but otherwise not.
So you have the dirt spot after you go to the bathroom, huh?
Yeah, if it's dirty, then you can use a wipe. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
bidet too, or no?
They know.
But wipe, yes.
Yes. Okay, now, Mitzvah Yom Kippur, after Nila, when you blow the shofar, okay? And we said, the Rebbe writes, it's not a tekiah gedola, it's a regular tekiah that you blow to show that the Shekhinah left. It's interesting, after Yom Kippur is over, after Ma'ariv, preferably before Kiddush Levana and eating or making Havdalah, we'll soon learn, it's best to wash your hands again properly without a bracha. Even if, let's say, you're a Kohen or a Levi and you already washed your hands during the day properly, the washing at the end of Yom Kippur is because the Kedusha is leaving, and when Kedusha leaves, impurity sets in. The whole concept of Negel Wasser, we learned this a long time ago, when we learned the dinim of from the beginning of Shulchan Aruch. Negel Wasser in the morning that you have to wash is as follows. Why doesn't a guy have to wash Negel Wasser? You know, Jews are careful before you wash Negel Wasser. You don't touch food, you don't touch parts of the body which are normally hidden and concealed, covered, because there's a ruach ra in the hands. Why is it? So it says in Shulchan Aruch, and it's based on Kabbalah, because the Jew has a neshama, which is holy, a godly soul. When the neshama leaves the body, there's a vacuum, so tumah comes in, so impurity comes in. Neshama leaves, then impurity comes in. A guy that doesn't have a godly neshama, so you know when they go to sleep at night, there's no more tumah coming in because it's not a missing, it's not a lacking of kedusha. Okay, so when you wake up in the morning, because neshama went up to heaven, and therefore you have to, tumah sets in. In the morning when you wake up, the tumah leaves the body except on the fingertips. That's what it says in Halacha and Kabbalah. The tumah leaves all over the body except on the fingertips. That's why, by the way, it's called Negel Wasser. Negel in Yiddish means nails. Wasser means water. Why is it called Negel Wasser? Because you're washing the nails, because that's where the bottom, where the fingers are, that's where the tumah sets in. Yom Kippur, there's an additional kedusha that a Jew has. So when that kedusha ends, when Yom Kippur is ending, the impurity sets in. So you watch the Negel Wasser without a bracha at the end of Yom Kippur. Now, the custom in Chabad, based in Kabbalah, 1 second, is, you know, a lot of shuls, Friday night, when the chazan goes to the Yomid, they wear a talis. Yom Tif night, they wear a talis. Most shuls are like that. In fact, the first Yom Yom of the year, Yutas Kislev, the first Yom Yom, the Rebbe says the chazan does not wear a talis, not at night, not Shabbos, not Yom Tif night. The only time which is different is Yom Kippur, that we'll soon discuss. Slichas is in the morning, or after midnight, but not before midnight. In fact, there's a letter from the Rebbe, it's interesting. The Rebbe was very much opposed to machlekes fights over Jewish customs. When it came to the chazan not wearing a talis at night, there's a letter from the Rebbe to a shul, Chabad shul in Boston, which wasn't a Chabad shul officially, but my grandfather used to daven there, I know. But there's a printed letter from the Rebbe to that shul that says, even though Gadol HaShalom, it's best to make peace, and even though it's not your minhag, for the sake of peace, you do a lot of things, which are obviously not against halacha. But in this, he says you should eat, it's worth even fighting over. Why? And the Rebbe quotes a source in Shari Tefillah, it's not Shari Tefillah. No, in the bottom, Pischei Tshuva. No, it's not Pischei Tshuva, whatever it's called. Shari Tshuva. Shari Tshuva under Orach Chaim, that he writes from the Arizal that it's a sakana to wear a talis at night. The exception of Yom Kippur. 1 second. It's a sakana to wear a talis at night. So even though many of the great Rebbe in Eretz Yisrael in America, they do, but the Rebbe is fanatically against it. Yom Kippur night is different because B'chal we're like angels. It's a whole different story. But for Ma'ariv Matzoi Yom Kippur, it's already not Yom Kippur. You're davening Ma'ariv. It's already not Yom Kippur. So our custom is we take the talis off the head, which is the main part of the talis, by the way, is when it's over the head, contrary to what people do. The main part of the wearing of the talis is over the head. So therefore, we take off the talis from the head, based on the Sarizal, and we wear the hats. So you daven Ma'ariv, it's a very nice sight. You're wearing a white kittel with a talis, with the head down and you're wearing a black hat. That's the way you have married. And in fact, the Rebbe writes that's ideally the way you should go home and make Havdalah. Our custom is to go home and make Havdalah wearing the kittel and the talis and the hat, and that's the way we make Havdalah when we go home. Now, there's another detail about the candle Mitzvah Yom Kippur. Yom Tif, that's not Saturday night, we don't do Beir Me'esh Ba'Havdalah. No psalmim and no candle. Why do we do candle only Saturday night? Because like we learned, when Adam and Isha was created Friday afternoon, the first Friday night, there was no darkness. The Medrash says it was 36 hours straight light, from Friday morning until Saturday night. So the whole Friday day, 24 hours plus another 12, was 36 hours, there was no darkness. Came Saturday night, the original Saturday night, it became dark. So Adam and Isha was given the seichel by Hashem to rub two stones together, and he created fire. So because fire was created Saturday night, that's why we do Beir Me'esh Saturday night. But that only applies to Saturday night. So if Yom Tov is Tuesday and like this year's Sukkot is Monday and Tuesday, all the Havdalahs you don't make except Saturday night. You don't use candle or something. But Yom Kippur, though, it's different. You do use a candle. Why? Because Yom Kippur, you can't light a match. You can't light a fire. So we didn't use fire for 24 hours. So we want to make a bracha to show that now we're able to reuse fire. But according to halacha, it must be only on a candle that was burning for 24 hours. In other words, after Yom Kippur, you can't strike a match and light your Havdalah candle and do Beir Me'esh.
Even if it's on Motzei Shabbos?
It says in halacha even Motzei Shabbos, because Yom Kippur is unique. So therefore, what do? You have a yardstick candle burning from before, and then you take a match and light it from the yardstick candle to the Havdalah candle, or some people use the yardstick candle itself and the Havdalah candle, and then you make a Beir Me'esh. But you can only make a Beir Me'esh if the fire was on, fire was burning from before Yom Kippur. If you don't have such a fire, you don't make Beir Me'esh. And no psalmim either. Okay. Marachin is a meister man, Mechabei B'mayim, Kim Shivla Gal Teira, Ganan Mekashim, Milas Good Baruch, Zakta V'Yam Temishin Amadi Nachavit Man Tzidkai, Yagdol Teira V'Yadin.